As mentioned, it's the first time the Project Play Summit has been outside of DC, and we could not have picked a better place to land. And it occurred to me this morning why when I was in the shower. It was a little bit of an epiphany. We've always struggled to describe what Project Play is. I mean, we know what our mission is, we know where we're headed, but what is it exactly? Is it an initiative that seems too clinical? Is it a movement? Seems too simplistic. It's certainly not a PR exercise. I mean, we ask the tough questions. We work with them. I have the instincts of a journalist, the training of a journalist. But what it is, it occurred to me this morning, and I think the right word for it is, it's an engine. This is the Motor City, and Project Play is an engine. We like to think of it this way, I think, and we're going to start talking about it in this manner. An engine to reimagine sports in America so we can build the healthiest possible kids in the healthiest possible communities. So kids can receive all of the benefits that really flow to those whose bodies are in motion for life. The Project Play Summit is where we take a measure of the nation's state of play and chart next steps in building healthy communities through sports. Project Play has never been about just talk. Since inception, it's been guided by a theory of change, a logic model on how to move our sports system to a better place, starting at the base with kids 12 and under. Step one was organizing the thought in the space, reviewing the evidence base, and identifying 8 strategies that stakeholders could rally around, which map to a vision of an America in which all children have the opportunity to be active and develop through sports. That led to the creation of, let's see if I can make this work. There we go. Of this document, which is our seminal work, Sport for All, Play for Life, a playbook to get every kid in the game. 8 strategies for the 8 sectors that touch the lives of kids, released in 2015 with the Surgeon General. These strategies were all crowdsourced. None of them were rocket science, and that's on purpose, to get heads nodding, so people could get to work individually and together. We put these strategies or plays at the center of everything we do in Project Play to date. Our summit, our state of play reports, our social media. So I know many of you are familiar with them, but let's just do a quick little review here. We're going to do the little Viking clap thing, so we're all in unison. Ready? Let's see if we can do this. Play number 1, ask kids what they want. Play number 2, reintroduce free play. Play number 3, encourage sports sampling. Play number 4, revitalize in-town leagues. Play number 5, think small. Play number 6, design for development. Play number 7, train all coaches. And play number 8, emphasize prevention of injuries.
Thank you.
Terrific. Wow, you guys are good. I want to see you dance together sometime, a little line dance. So, so step 2 in our theory of change was organizing the organizers, helping to mobilize the national governing bodies and other sport organizations that shape the youth sport experience in this country. Through Project Play, more than 30 of them endorsed multi-sport play through at least age 12, a pushback against the trend of early specialization. And we created a checklist of policies and practices that any organization could use to put this endorsement into action, to help kids experience the well-rounded childhood that they all deserve. We created Project Play 2020, a working group comprised of 20 leading organizations, most of them from industry and professional sports. Wilson Foundation is also part of it. ESPN, Dick's, Nike, Under Armour, Major League Baseball, the NBA, and many others, to help them develop mutually reinforcing actions and opportunities to lift participation rates among youth. The How to Coach Kids project has a website aggregating the best resources by sport and audience, a free 30-minute course created by the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee and Nike, and soon an in-person course supported by the Wilson Foundation. That is one product of the Project Play 2020 collaboration. With another PP 2020 member, Hospital for Special Surgery, we created the Healthy Sport Index. You should check it out. It evaluates the health impact of playing the most popular sports for kids. No less important, it identifies best practices by sport to encourage more programs to adopt them and list companion sports in line with the sports sampling priority of PP 2020. We also built a Project Play parent checklist, 10 questions parents can ask themselves, their child, and their local sport provider to make sport a great experience. Now, government is trying to find its lane. On Thursday, the White House plans to release the National Youth Sports Strategy developed by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services on the orders of President Trump. We'll explore the role of government, federal, state, and local, where its strengths lie, tomorrow in our closing panel, which I'll moderate. Please stick around. I know this is a long conference. It's going to be a good one now. But no set of actions has been more robust than what you see unfolding right here in Southeast Michigan. The investments made by the Wilson Foundation and the community foundations here and in Buffalo in building healthy communities through sports is unprecedented in philanthropy or youth sports. We're very proud that the State of Play reports and Project Play broadly have helped guide this work in these regions and look forward to helping folks here tell really one of the best sports stories possible. Which brings us to step 3 in our theory of change, reaching into homes, speaking directly to parents, aiming them as agents of change. To do that, we had to first get their attention, be a little bit direct. So let's play the video.
I'm here to announce my retirement from sports. Baseball, basketball, all of them. I feel like it's time. The pressure that it takes to play at my age is just too much. So I'm done with the endless advice from parents to keep my head up, to keep my head down, to keep my head in the game. I know you think you helped. I'm walking away from the coaches that left me on the bench every time the game was on the line. I'll miss my friends and the fun we had when we were young. I said I'd play this game as long as I was having fun. And now, it's time to call it quits. Any questions?
So our Don't Retire Kid campaign launched last month on ESPN with that spot. The character's name was Derek Hayswiver, which is an anagram for kids everywhere. And we have the actor with us today, Devon Love, to talk about his sport experience. You know, kids typically don't quit in front of a bank of reporters and microphones and lights, but they do quit every day. You know, our data shows that in most sports, kids quit by age 11, and they only play 3 sports. And let's be honest, in youth sports, kids have always been under pressure from adults. But that pressure has ramped up in recent years with tryout-based travel teams created at ever earlier ages, and parents starting to think about the downstream ROI. It might be a scholarship, might be preferential admission to colleges, whatever else it may be. And kids mostly just want to play with their friends. They want to test themselves in environments that meet their needs, just as so many of us did when we were growing up. The other theme that the Don't Retire Kid campaign puts on the table are the escalating costs of youth sports. This is one of several ads that Wilson has placed around the region. You may have seen them at the airport or on the billboard driving into town. It draws attention to the fact that low-income kids are half as likely as kids from upper-income homes to play sports. Our data show that the average cost of playing sports is just under $700 now. It's $2,500 in hockey. Know what that means? It means in a place like Detroit, Hockey Town, as NHL fans call it, maybe only a couple hundred kids within the city limits actually play the game. The answer is not throwing more money at this gap between the have and have-nots, so underserved kids can have these $2,500 a year experiences. The answers lie in growing the variety of affordable sport options for kids. That could mean floor hockey or roller hockey. That could mean squash, organizations like Rack It Up right here in Detroit, showing what's possible. It could be after-school team ball, team handball, or 7-on-7 rugby, like one PE teacher from LA who's with us today, David Hastings, has done in his middle school. This certainly means bringing back community-based leagues, classmates playing near their home with classmates at low cost. We have sessions today at the summit on the promising models in each of those areas. Indeed, there are actually a lot of great things happening in this space. And despite the numbers presented in the campaign, there is progress. Last year, the percentage of low-income kids playing sports finally rose after years of decline. The average number of sports that kids played ticked up for the second consecutive year to 1.87. The percentage of kids playing team sports on a regular basis jumped for the second straight year, as noted in the State of Play report, which is in your bags. These have all been priorities with Project Play since launch. But in just about every category, kids are still playing less often than they did a decade ago. The winds pushing against us are gale force, screens, the rise of esports, charter schools that don't offer sports, parents working harder than ever to make ends meet, making it difficult to transport their kids to to all these practices and faraway tournaments. Today, many Hispanic families won't sign their kids up for sports, terrified that the information shared could lead to immigration problems. It's just a fact. Many of these issues are beyond our control, but as leaders, we can up our game and build a sport ecosystem community by community that delivers on the vision of a sport for all, play for life, place to live. You can find it in places like Mission Viejo, California, where every home has easy access to parks and trails. The town was designed that way, and people love it. They love living there. Check out Appleton, Wisconsin, where recreation leaders have redesigned their programming to be more kid-friendly and seen participation spike up. Go to nearly any college campus. You want to find sport for all, play for life? Go to college campus where intramurals are all over the place, and they aren't disparaged, they're celebrated, core to campus life. The Holy Grail? If you read my piece in the New York Times in May, you know what I'm talking about. For the rest of you, at least those without access to Google, I'm going to hold you in suspense until tomorrow morning when we show an HBO Real Sports piece on what I think is the most effective sport model in the world, one that put the common sense principles of Project Play in place 25 years ago, long before Project Play was even conceived, and now is reaping the rewards with 93% of kids playing sports, health and happiness outcomes that are among the best in the world, civic engagement, and elite athlete performance. The piece is not in your app, but it is in your, it's not in your printed program, but it is in your app, and we'll show it right here at 8:45 tomorrow morning before the day 2 programming starts. Hope you join us. So come, be inspired, learn, meet people, go home, and be the change we need. We can do this, people. We can do this with time, with courage, with leadership, and with commitment. Thank you for coming, and enjoy.